I think that that is a big, big disappointment. I would have expected more from him, to be very honest. And I'm a guy that liked him. I'm a guy that would have reappointed him. And I think this is a big disappointment that I've seen from him.
Jim, do you think that it has longer-term ramifications for the institution based on the fact that he is saying he does think that this is an independent institution, a committee, but does want to avoid some of the attacks that he says are battering the institution?
Mariner Eccles is the only other Fed chairman that stayed on in the late 1940s. And his memoirs say that he stayed on because he saw with Bretton Woods and with the World Bank and the IMF in the post-World War II period, change was coming, and he wanted to marshal the world through those changes. It seems like what Chairman Powell is saying is, we're 80 years later and change is coming, and I want to stand in the doorway and prevent those changes. He said that he wants to see a more traditional move back to the Fed. He wants to see the Fed institution remain the way it is and not evolve. Now, as far as independence goes, I think we've solved the independence problem with the vote today, 8-4. We have 12 independent voters. The chairman is one of those voters. That is how you're going to get a truly independent Fed. The chairman cannot dictate the policy like he has for the last 40 years. He needs 6 other people to agree with him in order to get that policy across. What's going to happen if we continue to have these dissents? I'll remind you, last year, the Bank of England had a 4-4-1 vote. If we get to a 6-6 vote with this Fed, we're already at 8-4. That gives Chairman Powell all the power to decide what the policy is going to be, even though he said he's not going to give any speeches and he's going to remain in the background. Or is he saying that he will just do whatever Chairman Walsh tells him to do, and that's the way he's going to vote, and he's not going to vote independently? So there's a big problem that he needs to define and try to explain, and he didn't at this press conference.
Jim, I look at this simplistically. I got oil at 119.61. And this announcement that I saw on the Bloomberg that we're leaving an aircraft carrier from the Middle East, the Gerald Ford with 5,400 sailors, I believe it is coming home exhausted. Is Jerome Powell simplistically in the same way just staying to block a Trump appointee, period?
I hope he's not, and I hope that, he's trying to be fair-minded in his decision, and I disagree with the decision, and we can have disagreements in it, and that isn't being as political as that he doesn't want Trump to have another appointee. And by the way, we'll get the Lisa Cook decision by June when the court adjourns, and if they do allow him to fire Lisa Cook for cause, I would assume probably the same day he'll fire Jay Powell, and and then he'll get 2 votes, or he'll get 2 open seats to be able to replace. Now, of course, the court could rule otherwise, but that's coming as well, too. But I hope it's not that. I hope that it is more that he has a view about the institution not changing in a world where I think we're changing and it needs to evolve, and he's preventing that.
Jim, stay close. I've got Mike McKee standing by. Just hopped out of the news conference. I want his reaction to all of this as well. Mike, you're in the room. Have you got a different perspective on things?
Yes, I think I do. I was listening to what Jim said. I don't think Jay Powell is staying because he's trying to stand in the way of progress at the Fed. I think Jay Powell is staying because he doesn't trust the Department of Justice. He noted at the top that the Justice Department had said that they were dropping the probe, but he referenced back to Jeanine Pirro's comment about we could file another criminal complaint. And he doesn't know what the Justice Department will do, whether or not there would be validity in what the Justice Department might do. So he wants to make sure that that is the case, and he will at least probably stay through the Inspector General's report. It is also possible he would stay on beyond that in order, as you did mention, that in order to deny the president the possibility of another seat if he thinks what the president wants to do is take political control of the Fed.
So, Jim, I want to give you a chance to respond to that. If anything, the chairman's been consistent. He set a bar. He said this needs to be wrapped up with transparency and finality. And based on the comments we've heard, according to the chairman, he thinks they've fallen short of that bar, Jim.
Yeah, I think he thinks that. Senator Tillis does not think that. That's why he voted today to advance his nomination. And I agree with Mike that he does not trust the Justice Department, but it's not his call. It's the Justice Department that the American public elected through the election of Donald Trump. And if he doesn't like it, he's going to then stay as a disruptive force to the Fed to prevent them from making any kind of changes or referrals, or even looking in. Remember, this is all about the building cost and why it's been taken several years and is run so expensive. And it seems like he's saying we're not allowed to ask.